Okay, so it is also May the 4th. So those of you who like trendy topics, May the 4th is Star Wars themed, so we are Star Wars themed today. We are labeled Cybersecurity, Jesus, and You. It was a good excuse to Photoshop in Jesus, but more importantly, we're going to talk about cybersecurity, our kind of community, our kind of mentality, and how we can really stay Christ-like but still protect ourselves from bad actors. One of the things we're going to focus on is what is practical cybersecurity and what isn't. We're not going to talk about firewalls and blocking people from coming into your house, things like that. Those are quite impractical. No one is going to be able to hack into your router at home. No one is going to be able to do any types of things that come into your home or come into your device. I think one of the big defining moments with Seth was when he was going through the airport and he had his certain mobile devices on that allowed someone to clone his phone book and to clone his identification. And that is how we all started getting mass emails and texts from Seth. And then I was able to talk Seth in the airport on how to shut some of those things down, and poof, it magically stopped. So we're going to talk through some of those practical applications, and we're going to talk, for those of you who have iPhones, I'm going to talk through some settings, show you some settings on the screen, and give you some best practices to move forward with. So here's our game plan. What is cybersecurity? What are some common cyber threats, things that we need to be aware of and protect ourselves from? Let's level set. You are a good person. We are good people, but there are bad people out there that want our information, want our identities, and want our stuff. What are some good cyber practices? How can we keep those bad people from getting into our systems, getting our information, and making our lives really difficult? And then let's do some real examples. It's a safe space. Let's talk about some things that have happened to us and how we can prevent them from happening again. And then let's create some new patterns. How do we change these things, and how do we prevent them from affecting us or moving forward again? So let's define this. Cybersecurity is protecting your personal information and devices from unauthorized access, scams, and identity theft. And really, there are four main ways that we all talk about. There's phishing scams, which we get email, texts all the time about your car needs an extended warranty, or oh my gosh, you've got to pay your electric bill, or the phone company is contacting you. Those are people that are trying to trick you into providing personal details. So then they could move on to identity theft, which is unauthorized access of your personal information to commit fraud on others, which then ultimately come back to us as the people who they stole the identity from. We're going to talk about support scams. This was a big one in the news lately. Impersonators complaining or claiming and asking for monetary support. I need your money. I need a gift card. I need help. I need money for a plane ticket. Things that really we would normally say, I want to help you. But sometimes we have to look a little deeper into those messages and think, why would this person come to me for a plane ticket? And then social engineering. This we're going to spend the most time on because, surprise, surprise, we are the biggest threats to ourselves. With artificial intelligence now, psychological manipulation by attackers to gain sensitive information is easier than it has ever been. With one voicemail message, people can clone your voice and start sending out other voicemail messages. All they need is your phone book, and they're off to the races. It sounds scary. It's really not that scary. So there are bad people out there. There are really, really bad people out there. And there are a few ways we can work to really help ourselves. But let's establish there's a difference between acting Christ-like and following your instincts. I know people come to us and ask us for aid, and we want to provide it to them. We want to help them. But they are not really coming to us. Has everyone heard about this poor woman? So she, a widower, her online persona on Instagram and Facebook and she thought she was talking to Brad Pitt. And poor Brad, he's diagnosed with cancer. He's working hard to keep it out of the press, and that Angelina Jolie has taken all of his money, all of it. And I need your help. I need your help. I want to do another movie, but I can't do it without your help. And she gave 800,000 euros, which close to $1 million exchange rate, for Brad Pitt's chemotherapy and cancer treatment. Now, while I would feel for anyone who did this, common sense monster has to peek in when you see some of these photos and just say, wow, Brad looks really good. I mean, that hair is pretty top left. I don't even know what to say. But here's the reality, is that with some of these things, if we start creating safe habits and a little bit of common sense, we're going to be in a good spot. If it is too good to be true, it is. So here's an example from my father. This is a screenshot from my father. He messaged us saying, an authorized payment of $999 for the recent order of your Apple iPhone 16 Pro on your account. If you didn't authorize this payment, please press 1 to speak to customer support. Now, this phone, the 16 Pro, is a $2,000 phone if you buy it out of cash, so it's half price. Now, what they're doing is trying to get you to go, oh my God, that's super good. Yeah, I'll take it. And then once you hit 1, you are now going head to head with someone who does this for a living. And the odds of you getting out of that safely, especially these days with some of the things they can charge to your phone, all I need is 1 yes. Are you having a good day? Yes. Click. Now I can go back and I can manipulate that and say you said yes to the phone. So let's talk about what we can do. What are some good cyber practices? Creating strong passwords. We hate these. I hate them. They are so difficult because I create a long password and now I forget it. And then I have to reset my password 18 times. You can write it down. You absolutely can write it down. For most of us, it's in our homes. No one's going to break into our house, look for our password, go onto our laptop, try to figure out no, don't worry about it. Write it down. Susan, my amazing, amazing mother-in-law, has a sheet of all of her passwords. Now, albeit it's the oldest sheet. No, it looks like papyrus. It is so old and crusted like that's no good. But get a small book, one of those small notebooks, and make it your password notebook. Think of some other ways to create strong passwords. So, for example, GoPackGo. GoPackGo for me is one of my go-to passwords. I put in zeros instead of O's. I put in $signs instead of S's. I alternate caps up and down, exclamation points on the end, or $signs on the end. What you shouldn't do is the same password you have had since 1998 with a capital in the front and an exclamation point in the back. That is what we all did. We all had password. And then they said, you need a capital. So we capitalized the P. And they said, no, you need a number. So we went password 1. Okay. And they were like, no, you have to be more secure than that. We went, absolutely. Password 1, exclamation point. And we all did it. We all did it, and they figured it out, and algorithms now can figure it out in pretty short order. Now, to get those algorithms out of your workflow, you need two-factor authentication. I hate this one more than anything else, because now anytime I want to change my password or change anything, I have to pick up my cell phone and adjust my cell phone. It's the nature of the beast. We just have to do it. Two-factor authentication is your friend. Regular software updates. I'll go through where it is on your phone, where it is on your computer. Apple people here? Okay. Everybody else, Windows or Android phones? Set automatic updates. If you have trouble finding it, let me know. I'll go through where they are on your phone. Set your automatic updates. They are your friend. And it makes it so you don't have to think about it. Recognizing websites. So I'm going to go through a couple of examples in a little bit where you can look through domains and you can look through email messages. But I almost got caught at work. We almost got caught with a tricky one this past week. We have a lot of accounts payables. Pitney Bowes. Anyone remember Pitney Bowes? Stamps. Well, there's a huge scam right now. They have cloned everything about Pitney Bowes' website, except it's pitneybowes.us. And we came close to paying them some money that we thought was owed until finally I looked at the address and I said, huh. And so they'll have little hyperlinks on the bottom where you have to click to go to the website. And so if you hover over some of these, and I'll show you, it will show you the destination in the bottom of your bar. And I saw pitneybowes.us. And I went, wow, you are good. You are good. So we just have to be a little more careful. This is my favorite. Safe social media usage. I loathe social media. Now, why I loathe it, while I love showing off my gorgeous daughter and my amazing wife and my fantastic mother-in-law on social media, it gives other people ammunition. It lets them see us. It lets them see more of us than we should. Family and friends. Go onto your Facebook, go onto your Insta, book, chat, Instagram, and limit yourself to family and friends. People who don't know you shouldn't have the ability to see your family. Lock it down. Grandkids. Don't put names of the grandkids. If you're going to put their faces on there, super, do not put names, because that becomes ammunition for people to reach out to you and say, little Susie's in trouble, we need $1,000. And very quickly you can Apple Pay $1,000 and then go, oh, what did I do? Which brings us back to email and message security. We'll talk quite specifically about some of these, but the important thing to do is take the steps to protect yourself. Antivirus and malware protection. Okay, for those of you who are PC users, antivirus and malware protection is your biggest defense. You want to have an up-to-date subscription for it. You want to know who you subscribed with. Whether it's Norton or McAfee or whoever, it doesn't matter. Just know, because you are going to get spammed with people saying your subscription is going to expire. They are never going to email you. They will always send you a notification on your desktop computer. They're never going to call you. But you do need antivirus and malware. I would recommend my top 3 are Norton, McAfee, and a malware company called Malwarebytes. I'll send all of this afterwards so you can see actual names of these companies. But it's Malwarebytes, B-Y-T-E-S. If you're on a Mac, congratulations. You really have nothing to worry about. The infrastructure that those machines were designed on make infiltrating your computer super, super difficult. So for Mac people, the biggest challenge you're going to have are PDFs. People are going to send you a PDF, say, hey, check out this invoice, or check out this invite, or check out this invitation, or open up, read this article. And you're going to open that article, which is a PDF from someone you don't know, and that is going to be your gateway. Once you open that, it allows certain software to get onto your computer. It's not the end of the world. Just don't click on anything inside of it. Delete it, or close it, delete it, empty your little recycling bin, and you're good to go. Okay. These are things that will never be said. No one will ever reach out to you and call you. No one will ever text message you. We will call you if you ever owe us money. The government will never call you. The IRS will never call you. Those of you who have ever interacted with the IRS, lawyers, accountants, they are the hardest people to get a hold of. They're not going to call you. Bill Gates, I'll call you or text you if your subscription expires. The new one right now is your Windows subscription or your Office subscription. It's a pending charge of $600. Don't do anything if you want it to go through, but if you want to cancel it, call me. It's never going to happen. That's why credit card companies allow us to call them. Extended warranties. Those are my favorite, but the most ridiculous. This one is coming more and more these days, calling you to confirm transfers, the bank. So with the proliferation of Venmo. Everyone heard of Venmo? So what Venmo allows you to do is automatic wire transfers from your mobile phone. Now, these are real wire transfers. And for those of you who have ever been involved in wire transfers, once they go, they're gone. And they're pretty hard to get back. They're never going to call you to confirm those transfers. I'm not a huge fan of Venmo. My wife can tell you that, because it has direct access to your bank account. Apple Pay is a good one because Apple acts as an intermediary. Super difficult to fake your way through that one. Venmo, if you do two-factor authentication, you could probably get by with Venmo. Okay, let's get into some specifics. So, emails. Now I know some of these are going to be hard to see, but so I got an email, and it said virus defense team. Looks pretty good. There are a few too many colors for my liking. Like if this was an actual company, I don't think marketing would want this many colors. Sorry, keeps clicking. So I'm just going to move this over here because I'm already a loudmouth to begin with. So I think you'll still hear me. Is that still okay? Nope. Oh, thank you. How about we go to this side? Better? There we go. Okay, subscription expired. Renew within 48 hours. You have my email address. Okay, got it. This was interesting. My work antivirus expired on 5/2. So I was like, okay. Maybe this is what we use. We have a weird IT guy. Maybe he's got some interesting things. I click through this. Here is our clue number 1. These two. There are 2 different addresses here. And here's a better one. Do we opt down or do we opt out? We opt out, don't we? We don't opt out. I don't even know what opt down even means. But it made me click here. See that little button right there? That opens up the address of everyone CC'd. And poof, there you go. From virus /. Anytime you see that, you just know delete. However, look at the size of this email address. I don't even know how to pronounce half of this. And then, sure, it's got this. It's got my email address right, but all this other. So let me tell you what these are. These are short codes that they've created on their side to go after anyone with the first name Robert in their contact base. They have these massive databases. Any Robert. So I was not special. Every Robert got this. So any other Roberts, you probably got one of these too. But these are the things we have to look for. If you do nothing else but click this and look at who it's coming from and who it's going to, you will know very quickly. Now, some of us who worked with computers or with big companies in the past, we're going to look at these encryption things. We'll go, well, it looks encrypted. These are meaningless. These are so easy to get now. They're like participation certificates for kids now in elementary school. Everyone gets one. So don't worry about these anymore. Those are hardly helpful. Now, antivirus, good. Malware, good. Let's talk about Wi-Fi for a second. One of the other things that Seth got locked up with is when you go to the airport, you'll see any number of Wi-Fis. And this is true when we go to the store, we go to Collectivo, we go to Stone Creek, and we want free Wi-Fi. Sure, I don't want to have to use my data, even though it's not as hard to use data anymore. Free Wi-Fi, anything labeled free Wi-Fi, 9 times out of 10 is a scam. I think some of us are old enough to remember the phrase, there's no such thing as a free lunch. Well, there's no such thing as free Wi-Fi. You get Wi-Fi from the grocery store, you get Wi-Fi from a store that you're spending money in, you get Wi-Fi from a restaurant, but anyone who labels it free Wi-Fi is trying to get access to your phone. And here's what they do. You select free Wi-Fi, and they are now an intermediary between you and the internet. So, it's the same difference as me looking through the window and me opening the window and then looking through it. When you connect to the Wi-Fi, the window is open. I can hear everything. I can see anything. I could probably reach in and grab something if I want it. However, once you're in a secured a secured internet connection from a viable, trustworthy source, that window's closed. You're good. You're safe. Now, that said, who remembers, and this happened a couple months ago, there was talk about new regulation for securing text messages. So those of you who are in Apple, some messages used to be green, and then others were blue. Do you remember that? And then everything became blue. So here's why. Text messages are like letters. You can open it up. Anyone can open it up and read it. You just hope that the person who it's written to can actually, yes, this is mine. Not true with digital messages. Text messages that show up as green on your iPhones means they are unsecured messages. Anyone can interpret them, receive them. So let's go back to our amazing, amazing Seth. He's at the airport, connects to a Wi-Fi. Messages start going green, and someone is effectively intercepting his messages. And with that, they use one of the worst things that Apple has ever created, called AirDrop. We want AirDrop off, receiving off. You always want this setting. What AirDrop allows you to do is, you're next to me, we're teens, and we don't want to message each other. I'm just going to AirDrop you a message, or I'm going to digitally send you something because we're right next to each other. Super. We don't need that. We just don't need that. And what it does is it opens it up. If I'm on an unauthorized, unsecured Wi-Fi, and I have AirDrop on, someone can just come in and grab my contacts, pull my contacts. And maybe it comes up as a small button. Maybe I've deactivated those notifications. You know how sometimes when you're walking around and your phone keeps locking, you're like, I have to unlock it again. You know what? Leave it unlocked for 10 minutes. That's all I need. Great, now I have 10 minutes to get as much stuff as I can. Okay, personal hotspot. Anybody use this? Love personal hotspot. So for most of us, you may not even know it, but this comes with your cell phone plan now. In lieu of connecting to public Wi-Fi, you can use your phone. It is the most secure outlet to get internet access. However, maximize compatibility. No, we do not want to maximize compatibility. I want to be the most incompatible thing you have ever seen on the internet. I want this off. You want this off. We want this off. Allow others to join. Nah, not really. Sometimes not sharing is a good thing. Let's go back 8 slides. You don't have to share with everyone. Don't allow others to join, just for you. And then turn this bad boy off. Biometrics are your friend. Biometrics are your friend. If you are scared or paranoid about the government or big business having your information, I'm sorry to tell you they already have it. So let's at least get a benefit out of it. The benefit is I can use my finger on my laptop. I can use my face on my phone. It makes it exponentially easier. It makes it exponentially more secure because now I can have go pack go with exclamation points, ampersands, any symbol and number that I want, and I don't have to input it every single time. If you use Google Chrome, who uses Google Chrome and who uses Safari? Safari? Google Chromers? Okay. So they both allow you to save passwords. So for some of us, we like the compatibility of Google Chrome. For others who use Macs, Safari is by far the more secure. Both allow you to save your passwords. I like Google Chrome because it allows me to take my passwords and my bookmarks to any machine I use. My work machine, I log in, I can look wherever I want to and access anything I want to. Let it save your passwords. They're secure. They are secure. No one is going to take down Google or Apple anytime soon. And if they do, your information is the last anyone is going to want. It's the last. I gave a talk similar to this to 2 generals who ironically used to work on the Joint Chiefs. And this guy had, a retired general, his password was password. I was like, sir, that is the worst thing I have ever heard in my entire life. He's like, no, but I capitalized the P. And I went, okay, sir, I think that's a great idea, but we need to get a little more sophisticated. And even they don't have to worry. And these were guys who had seats on Joint Chiefs, and no one's trying to hack into their laptops. So we can stop worrying about that. Okay, if you haven't picked up on this already, the biggest risk to your info is you. It's us. We are trusting, we want to believe the best out of people, but the truth of the matter is they are not always here to help us. As a matter of fact, they are designed to not want to help us. But let's go through, I think a good next step would be, let's go through some practical examples on your phones. Are we mostly iPhone people here? Yeah? If you have an Android, I love you, but there's nothing I can do for you. Let's go through some specific examples of settings. Would that be a good next step for y'all? Or as opposed to us going through, here's what not to do. Okay, so let's do this. I was going to do a questions have you, but let's get out of that. So we will escape out of this, and let's open up a device. Okay, here we go. Can everyone see that relatively well? I'll try to make it bigger. I just don't know how to. No. Oh, shortcuts. There you go. Is that okay? No, too low. Oh, are you going to let me move you? Oh, you're so good. I don't need multiple of you. Just stay there. I think that's as good as we're going to get. Okay, so let's go back. Let's start. With, there we go. We're back home. Connect. Okay. Lock your phone. Never used this one before, but I figured it would be a good way. There we go. Okay. So let's start with auto lock. I think that's a pretty good, oh no, let's do messages. Okay. Who has new people coming into their life that they don't know about, sending them text messages for the first time? A lot? Do you have a lot of new people? Just one or two maybe? Do you have a decent amount? Or just like a handful? What do you think? Handful? Handful. Okay. So here's what we're going to do. Let's filter unknown messages. We're going to go to settings. And then we're going to look for messages. Okay. Oh, you just have to type. It's got the search bar at the top. Search bar is your friend. Good? I know. Okay. Now we want, are we all together yet? And then we will have, so these are some of the things I was talking about. RCS messaging, which is secured messaging. MMS messaging, which is for people outside of your phone type, which right now it really is, Apple and Android. Filter unknown senders. Click this one. You want this on. It prevents unknown message people from automatically pinging you nonstop. It will still show up. There will be a special other box for you to go check them, but you don't need to get hammered with every random spam message. Have that on. Now, what this allows you to do, you'll notice audio messages. There are a lot of cool things in here with respect to low quality images, how you want your text messages to work. Do you want a subject field? Do you want to limit character count? Don't mess with any of that. You could get lost in here forever. The important part is filter unknown messages. Let's silence unknown callers. We're going to go back to apps. And we're just at this app screen. Now, we're going to go type in phone. We're on apps. No, just apps. So go to your phone. You're in. Yep. Still in settings, apps. Settings, right here, the blue. We still good? And then we're going to go. Well, here we go. That's why we have a wireless mic. There you go. And for those of you who haven't tried She Who Shall Not Be Named, because if I name her, she'll start talking to me. Well, actually, mine is a he. But asking Siri to help you with stuff is super helpful. Hey, Siri, open up phone. Yeah, he wants me to unlock my iPhone. I love it. Okay, so we're going to go to phone. And then we're going to go silence unknown callers. Right here. Calls, now you're not blocking them, you're just sending them right to voicemail. So you have entertainment for later to listen to their asks of you. Yes?
When I have the silence unknown callers on, will that mean, currently I get a lot of phone calls saying potential scam.
Potential scam, they would go into that box. They'll go into that. Potential scam is coming from your phone company. So who gets potential spam or potential scam? That's your phone company trying to help. There's been a lot of new regulation where they make money off of those spam calls. They make a fortune off of them because they're enabling them, they're giving them your contact. They're allowing them to do it. And the truth of the matter is 9 times out of 10, they are customers of the company that you pay for mobile signal. So what they're doing now is identifying them as potential spam or a potential scam, which means spam and scam. But it's a nice way to make them feel warmer and cozier. So let's silence them because we don't need them anymore. Go back to apps. Where are our Safari people? Safari people. Super. Let's go and let's warn about suspected fraud sites. So we're still in settings. And let's go Safari. Okay. Now, there are a ton of other settings in here for us to mess about with. However, let's go fraudulent website warning. Why this is not on default, I can't figure out why. Like, who goes, yes, I need more fraudulent websites. However, make sure that is turned on, please. That will save you a ton of time. But here's a perfect example. Require Face ID to unlock private browsing. So who's seen private browsing pop up every now and then? What private browsing does is it lets you search the web with no trail. Now, the benefit of that, it doesn't allow cookies, it doesn't allow advertising, it doesn't allow anyone to identify you as a user as you're searching the web. This is great when you're using a work phone and you want to go on Facebook, or if you want to message someone or potentially go shopping. But other than that, I can't think of a good reason for that. There will be other things like prevent cross-site tracking. I leave it on just because I'm me, but for the most part, I like these because it helps connect things for me as I go shopping or as I go searching. I like it, but to each their own. You can turn it off, you can turn it on, whatever you think. Now, this is the other one. Clear data regularly. So there's this button, clear history and website data. Now, I'm not a huge clear all of my data, only when I need space. Because once I clear my data, I'm going to have to log back in to all of the sites in Safari that I use on my phone. So there's your double-edged sword. If you love putting in passwords, you're going to love this setting. If you don't mess with it. You're on a mobile phone anyway. It's not like anyone's going to really track you too far. It's just going to be limited to your phone.
Well, why not have the non-secure connection warning if not on?
So for me, I'm connecting, we have a bunch of different offices, and most of my connections are not secure because I'm the boss. And so by having not secure connections on, I can go and I can see who's doing what, I can look at the cameras, I can do all of that. If I had a secure connection, I wouldn't be able to. Now the question is for the employees who are doing something they shouldn't be, they have that on, and I can't see them. But yes?
Also, below fraudulent website warning, I've got the not secure connection warning. Should I have that on?
You can put that on. Yes, you should have that on. Okay. That's good for web browsing. How about passwords? Does anyone want to enable password control, or do you guys already do that? Interest? Okay.
I have a question.
Bring it.
I have an iPhone and I use Safari, and it always gives you the option of saving the password, which I usually do. But sometimes then I go on a site and I've got a million passwords and I don't know which ones are safe, which ones are old.
Okay. Let's do this.
I mean, sometimes they work, but when they don't work, then I go to look for them and I've got a lot of them.
Yeah. So what happens is they are saving all of your passwords that you've ever used. So, yeah. So the hard part is going to be these areas. So, detect compromised passwords. So I'm sorry, I didn't tell you guys where we're going. So go back to apps and search passwords. And we want the one with the keys. Okay. Detect compromised passwords. Check it. And I apologize right out of the gate. Every password you have ever used is already compromised. The question is, does anyone really want your Walmart password to use for it? Is anyone going to use your Netflix password? Probably not. But you're about to get notified of everything that went wrong. And that's okay. Now, here's a piece of what you were talking about. Save passwords. Ask when I'm signing in, do I want to save the password? Yeah, I think that's reasonable. But now let's view autofill settings. Okay. Autofill settings and passkeys, let's turn that on. Autofill form, let's turn that on. Verification codes, this is a good one. Who gets those verification codes, like when you do double authentication and they send you those codes? Let's turn this on. Delete those codes after I use them. Otherwise, we just have so many codes that we're saving. And then set up codes. So here we go. Set up codes. Here's another thing. Now, they automatically save, and there's very few things we can do to prevent this, those setup codes in passwords, which is why if I use my bank login and my bank lets me authenticate and they give me a new code, and then to your point, I go back a week later, and now I have 19 passwords for the bank. That's where things are going to get tricky. I would have to go into Safari, look at my passwords, and delete the old ones. Are we ever going to take the time to do that? Probably not. Now, the odds are the last one you used is usually at the top. So that is our default. That's what I do. That is my default. I think we are exponentially over time. But that said, let's go through one or two more. Secure your iCloud. Does anyone use iCloud all the time? Okay, how secure, let's see how secure our iCloud is. So let's go back and let's do settings. We're living and dying in settings here. And then let's go to factor. Nope, it's a game. Password and security. Oh, sure. So again, I have the benefit of being on my laptop right now. So I am in settings. Because I'm mirroring my phone, it's hard for me to swipe, but we're just living in settings right now because that's our friend. And again, you can go through some of this stuff, but I like just typing it in and having it search. So we're in privacy and security. And then there should be one, I think they added it as a button now. Two-factor passkeys. No. Oh, here's a good one. Okay, while we're doing this. Location services. Okay, so let's see. No, it doesn't show it on my phone. So you will see when you have location services on and location alerts, you want this on. Oh, sure, bud. So right now we're in settings, and then we're in privacy and security, and then location services, which is right above tracking. Both of those are ominous settings. But let's start with location services. Sure, it's in settings. So here's settings. I scroll right under emergency and SOS. Now, the place where I was going to go to was iCloud, and make sure we have two-factor authentication on. See, advanced data protection. I have that off. Now, here's just one thing I will tell you guys. You're going to see, did everyone see where I went on that? So I'm in iCloud, and there's advanced protection. Double-edged sword here. If you turn this on and you lose your phone, there's a chance you may lose all of your information if someone tries to lock down your phone. I leave this off. This is more if this was your work phone and you have super sensitive information on here that you don't want anyone to see. You have the nuclear codes on your phone and I need it secure. None of us need this level of security. As a matter of fact, if you have it on sometimes, it makes it harder to recover your data later. So muggles like us, we can leave that off. But let's go back to privacy and security. And then we will go to location settings. So, you with me? Or no? Okay, here we go. Yep, and then location services, your top button. Okay. So, while using is all we want. We don't want them doing things in the background. So, when you're bored and you have some extra time, go in and change all of these to while using the app. They're super helpful from a geolocation standpoint. You know, some of these, like the Bucks and my gym, well, my old gym, I could probably delete that at some point. The car service I used to use in New York City. Chick-fil-A, why Chick-fil-A needs to know where I am baffles me, but okay. When shared, okay, so these are good. So clips or clock, when shared. Ask next time or when I share. What this basically means is I don't want you to change my time unless I say okay. For those of you who travel and want to keep track of the time that it is in the US, that's why I do this. The rest of us, you could probably use never while using the app. However, while using. If you learn anything about location services, only make it while using.
Which is more restrictive, while using or
When shared is more restrictive. Because when shared means when you go into that app, they're going to ask you, would you like to share your geolocation? Now, it goes both ways. If that's a map program or if that's a bank program, if you turn it off for your bank, they're going to force you into two-factor authentication every time you log in. Because, again, we talked about companies knowing who you are. Your bank doesn't require you to do it if your geolocation is turned on and you log into your bank at home. Why? Because they figured out where your home is, they matched it up with your mailing address, and they went, "You're home. Sounds good." But once you turn that off, they're going to make you authenticate everywhere. What else would you like me to go through? Is there anything else off the top of your head that you were hoping the bald bearded guy was going to talk about today when it comes to cybersecurity? Yes? Okay. I like 1Password. However, 1Password was hacked about a year ago, and then I fell out of love with 1Password. Password managers are okay. They are a false blanket of security. They really are. They make you feel warm and toasty, and it's just not. I liked it until it got hacked, and then I had to redo all of my passwords. And then what it forced me into doing is creating a notebook, creating a pad, creating something where I started managing my own passwords. Problem was, if 1Password goes down, you have to reset all of your passwords. So what a lot of us have done, and I've gone to a few of these conferences, that's why Apple and Google have stepped it up so much with the password keychain and browser manager of passwords. These things go with us everywhere. They really do now. And the password managers were super helpful when we weren't as reliant on these. But we are now. So I would think one of two things. If you want to store them somewhere, store them on your phone. The one that is still the gold standard is 1Password. Even though they got hacked, everyone still loves them. The other ones, they're okay, but I've never tried them because once 1Password burned me, I just stuck with iCloud Keychain and Google to manage my passwords. I figure if someone's able to hack through all of Google security, I'm the last person they're looking for. So I'll have enough time to change my passwords. Do you have some?
So you mentioned earlier that free Wi-Fi.
Yes.
So is that if you're at Stone Creek and you go on their Wi-Fi, or that's different from that?
That's different than them. It's if you go to the airport, if you go to a stadium, you're going to see the name free Wi-Fi. Now you're going to see it pop up and you're going to laugh, but you're going to see free Wi-Fi pop up everywhere. And what they're effectively doing is they're going in and they are acting as the intermediary and screening through all your stuff. When you go to Stone Creek is standing between you and someone else. And the security that they have in there is top-notch. So Starbucks, Stone Creek, Collectivo, even restaurants. It's now a gold standard. They have these new boxes in the back that they're like routers, but they're hardware firewalls. No one's getting into your phone. No one's getting into it. Yes?
Does that include Bongo?
Bongo's a great example. So Bongo, or Boingo, I think it is, they supply, so anyone who has American Express, you get like some access to Boingo, which is this, it's a network inside all of the airports, really all over the world. That is a paid subscription. So you are hyper secure inside there. You could trust that explicitly. What I'm really talking about, the ones that say free Wi-Fi. They're just looking for low-hanging fruit. Yes?
I'm getting a lot of ads on my phone now saying, download Guardio. It's something that will automatically tell you if it's a scam or a fake or a phishing.
I've never heard of Guardio in my life.
On my phone as an ad probably 5 times a day.
Okay, so does it show up when you go onto websites?
It comes up as I play what's called Simon's Cat.
Yep.
Okay, and they support it. It's free because they have ads.
Yep.
And this ad comes up for Guardian.
So at some point you must have searched for something and they're retargeting ads to you. If you want Guardio to go away, remember that setting where I said delete your data history and all that stuff? If you delete that, you'll start getting new ads. Regardless of that, I wouldn't worry about it. They are just trying to really convert you to downloading it, and you don't need it. You really don't. You raised it first.
Just one follow-up question.
Yeah.
With 1Password, because I have it. My understanding, like, they got hacked, but my
So yes and no. Yes, in theory, that's what they did, but what 1Password didn't tell us all, I found it, was that, so for everyone, this company 1Password. So you store your passwords in there, and they encrypt them. So the way encryption works is it's like a key in a door, and each key is different. Each doorknob is different, except they made a skeleton key that opens up every account so they could use it for customer service. And they think it was one of their customer service guys because they have the skeleton key. And the CEO got hacked, the CFO got hacked, all of like the high-level people had their direct accounts hacked. So that's when I went, you lied to me. But yes, in theory, that's the benefit of 1Password, was even if your account gets compromised, someone would need your device to pair and make that connection.
Or they would need the keychain, which I've got a hard copy in my safe at home, and that's
Correct.
the place it is.
Correct. Now, to be fair, they say they've improved it and they've made it so that it's uncorruptible. But my thing was, you told me the last one was uncorruptible, so, But for you, I think it's supremely safe. I don't think, they didn't get to mine, they didn't get to anyone else. He was after the CFO, the CEO, and I think it was like the chief legal officer. The lawyers always get hammered with this stuff. Yeah. What was yours?
Sometimes, I recently received emails from people or places I don't expect to get anything from, and they say, they give you an option to unsubscribe. Usually what I do is I just delete it and block the sender. But, is that unsubscribe hook you into something when you didn't even expect it?
So it depends, and I know that's not the answer you want. So if they're using an email service like MailChimp or one of these mass email systems, they have to have the opt-out button on it. So 9 times out of 10, that opt-out button goes to the mail service and allows you to get out of that list. But if you remember the example that I showed of opt-down, that was a link that went to a fake email service. And then I put in my email address and I click submit, and Mazel tov, I just subscribed to like 50 new systems. So it's one of those things where, in theory, yes, it should work. And for like Target, Walmart, all those legit companies, they work. But when they're spam ones, it's like one of those things like, criminals don't always follow the law. And so they fake their way through unsubscribe buttons. So yes, I do the same thing you do. I report as spam and I block sender, and I wait for them to come up with a new email address, and then I keep blocking that. Yes?
I'm going to put my forum committee hat on and say that we don't want to stop, but we have to stop. And I think we should stop with all of our hard church fundraisers like auctions and just have lunch and rock. And pay $20 and bring home refreshments. You know, all of it.
Well, thank you. I'm sorry. Thank you. Hopefully that was helpful.